This next story involves a $1 million home and a fraud case totaling $35 million.
Tonight, investigative reporter Paul Boyd has the federal case against a Lake Wylie business accused of bribing its way into an astronomical amount of cash. Paul?
To take you through this case, the bribery and the cover-up, let's start with the victim in all of this. Cargill. To call it an agribusiness giant is an understatement. It is the largest privately held company in the world. Last year, it brought in $115 billion in revenue. So with that kind of cash on hand, it may be easy to overlook a few $1,000,000. And that brings us to this raid. Only Channel 9 was there in April 2017 when the FBI raided this $1.2 million home on the shores of Lake Wylie. At the time, neighbors were alarmed.
You don't want to see anything like this. It's a little scary.
We saw agents carrying boxes, bags, and a computer out of the house. Back then, we didn't know what they were after. Now, we've dug up federal documents clearly laying out the case. The owner of that house, Jennifer Mayer, also owned most of a company called Women's Distribution Services. Our partners at the Charlotte Business Journal wrote a feature on her women-owned business in 2014. She had a deal with agribusiness Cargill to supply things like personal protective equipment for employees and packaging for meat. As part of that deal, the Lake Wylie supplier could not charge Cargill more than a 10% markup on prices. Well, the federal paperwork says that's exactly what happened. Overcharges of more than $35 million, and the local business was caught. But the story doesn't end there. The feds say Mayer and business partner Brian Ewart made a deal with two men who worked in procurement at Cargill and paid them off. 50 grand in cash payments, vacations on luxury yachts valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars. Court papers say Ewart actually put one of the men in his will. They say the kickbacks went on for years, leading up to this raid, which happened after Cargill changed policies and audited women's distribution services. The feds say the conspirators tried to cover up the bribery scheme, but couldn't stay ahead of it. Cargill sued the local company, and Women's Distribution Services was ordered to pay back triple the overcharges, more than $100 million. 3 people involved all took plea deals. Those deals have not yet been unsealed by the court. Guys?